Hello and welcome to the Talking Told podcast. I'm your host Teddy and I'm being joined once again by...
Hayden!
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the 2012 tmnt show Season 1 Episode 8, Never Say Xever. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. And yeah, so last week, for us, last week the podcast finally came out, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has supported it and watched it and stuff like that. And really, before we do get into the episode, there was one comment. I mean, I was hoping there might have been a few more like terms of opinions on the episode, but I did get one, and I feel like you might like it because I don't think you've seen it, but from Ken Fi Brawl Stars, and this is from YouTube comments, says, "Yes, cool, my love you." So I don't know who he's directly commenting that to, but I think we should take that as a compliment.
Cheers. Yeah, thank you for the support, my guy. Thank you for the support. Or girl. Thank you for the support, though.
Yeah. What do you think about this episode briefly?
This episode, to be honest, I don't have many negatives about this episode, quite frankly. Like, this episode was probably one of the best episodes that I have seen so far, in my opinion. Like, sure, the other ones were good, but this one just tops it all off, I think. So I don't think I'm going to have many negatives. I got one or two, but the rest is just all positive. And overall, just a really good episode today we've got in store.
I'll just say, like, I'll say I saw have that same sort of feelings with you. Like, I'll say, I've got two things which I'll say which stand out the most. One which really annoys me for a character, and then the other thing is just something which they could have set up, but then they don't. But there's like a lot of stuff which I wouldn't say like negatives, but it's still like one of those things where like you just question a lot. I think that's like the best way to describe it with some of these scenes. But yeah. What's it like to have Chris Bradford back?
Oh my god, the first opening scene, I was hyped. Like, I saw Shredder, and I'm like, oh my god, he's here, he's finally here. We get to see Shredder in action, and I was just really hyped about that. And then of course we have Chris Bradford, and I was like, oh my god, he's back. Yes, he's back. And of course, from last episode's trivia, we found out that Chris Bradford is played by Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants and vice versa. And that was really fun. Oh, and now I'm going off topic here, but the first thing I saw Chris Bradford was like, oh my god, Mr. Krabs is back. That was my first reaction to Chris Bradford. I don't know why, I just thought I'd throw this in there just for some laughs, but really good to see Chris Bradford back. Love him. And of course, we get introduced to...
Is he your favourite character?
Chris Bradford. Yes, like, he's up there with my few favourite characters at the moment. But yeah, he's my favourite character so far. He's just his character, his voice, the history behind it. Such a cool character, 100%, hands down. But yeah, that was really good to see him back. And of course, Xever as well. We see him again. Okay, it's not my best character, but the voice could use some tweaks and some works here and there, but yeah, could be better. But overall, that scene was just hands down awesome. Just love how the evil layer, I just love it.
Yeah. I'll say that I do enjoy this opening scene with Shredder, as we just give off his like big threatening appearance for his character. Without like hardly ever doing anything, he's just standing there saying, "Oh yeah, you need to go off and do something." And if he does have his big presence, and I do really like that about this version. And Chris Bradford, I'd say, yeah, it's really cool to have him back after like knowing like your reaction to him. I'll say that my love for his character now has gone a bit more above and beyond because one, it's Clancy Brown, but two, you like him and your reaction to it, so it's made things a whole lot better. But like, there was that one weird thing which I found was at the beginning, Chris Bradford and they're talking to Shredder as if like about the events of episode 4, and they're talking about it as if it happened like last episode, and it felt, I don't know, for me it felt a little bit weird. Just going, oh, I could have had him last time, but that was like 4 episodes ago.
Yeah, I
anything to
was
say
trying
about
to
that?
figure that one out. Yeah, I was trying to figure that one out, to be honest. I was trying to figure out whether this was a prequel, like it was a backstory one. But then, of course, that was 4 episodes ago, like you said. And I'm trying to figure out, I was like, hold on a minute. Is he talking about the last time or this time? Or is this a backstory to what's going to happen within the episode? And I was just trying to figure that out for ages. But of course, we then find out he's talking about the past. I was thinking, well, yeah. But of course, if like people forgot about him after those 4 episodes, which I will be surprised if they do, it is a little good reminder just to remind what happened. But I don't know why you would forget that episode of Chris Bradford, and that's just terrible. If you do that, that's just not right.
Yeah. After the intro, the turtles are sneaking around to go to Mr. Murakami's shop. Um, I do really enjoy them sneaking around. It really gives them more of the presence of them being actual ninjas and not just running across rooftops because no one can see them. Um, but when they do get to Mr. Murakami's store, they just stand there before actually going into the store. But I see him getting beaten up. Why would you stand outside and be like, oh my god, I can't believe he's being beaten up. We need to go help him. And then just run in. Do you have any opinions on that entire scene?
Um, yeah, that scene just gives me the vibes in which, like, I don't understand it. It's like one of those teenage things. It's like, oh look, there's a guy getting beaten up. Let's watch that sort of thing. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Just why? But then, of course, they do go in, intervene after like a good solid minute or two, just standing outside saying, "Oh, what should we do? Go in or help, or just leave the guy to be beaten up?"
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's teenagers, I guess, or whatever.
What do you think about the fight between the Toads and the Pearl Dragons?
That was quite a good scene, a quite good fight scene, in my opinion. I really quite enjoyed that. However, the only downside was, I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of bad. I know Raphael brings this up as well, but I'm gonna bring it up too. Being up a blind man, like, come on, that is
Yeah.
just terrible. Like, whose
Hmm.
soul is so wicked just to beat up a blind man? Like, who would do that? Like, tell me, like, if I was a villain, like, okay, I'll beat some people up, but a blind man, seriously, there are limits to this sort of stuff, guys. You just gotta. And to be honest, on a
Yeah.
TV show, and you're beating up a blind man, really, there was some like negatives about that scene, but overall, that fight scene, I quite enjoyed it. And of course, oh, Donnie being a nerd again when he confronts it. It's like, Donnie, this is not the time for a biology lesson, sorry, on about your entire life. Just you fight him already. You can't just stand there and bore them to death. It'll be less interesting. Come on, let's do it. Go fight him. But apart from that, really good scene. Quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd say that this the fight scene between the Pearl Dragons, I did really enjoy it as it definitely did show the Toads had like come like quite a long way since their first battle between like the Krang and stuff like that. And I do feel like that was a really good way to show just like I mean I feel like one good example would be like Leonardo was able to take down one of the Pearl Dragons by using one hand by just like more or less just poking him. I thought that was like a really good effective way of like showing how far they come in like a short amount of time. But the thing is, which I thought maybe a bit weird and like maybe could look a bit bad on the show was the fact that even though these are Pearl Dragons, they are like very easy villains to defeat. They're like the lowest of the lows, and like in most versions, I mean like the two that came forward this, the Pearl Dragons were like the villains, or like the first villains that Told fought, and then that's when you eventually go up against like your Krang, Shredders, and all the other bad guys. But I don't know if like maybe having them like Pearl Dragons in this episode, like 8 episodes in, is that maybe a bit too late to show just how bad other things are, because I feel like it was good to have them in there because I do enjoy Pearl Dragons, but I don't feel it was just more like a waste of time really when you know that Battles can defeat the Krang. There's no real like challenge that leads up to the other big bad guys. Um, but I must admit I do like when the Pearl Dragon did run away with his arms in the air. I thought that was unique
Oh
for him
yeah,
to be running away like that.
that was funny.
Um,
That was funny, yeah.
yeah,
But I understand where you're coming from though with that scene. It was just like they can defeat so many other bosses. Like the purple dragons are literally like the level one grunts of a video game, and now you're showing them later on in a later on. It's like the reverse opposite of a video game. Like you go in and you defeat the level ones, but they've just decided to throw in like the main boss event, like at the start when you have nothing. You're completely, utterly unprepared, and you're fighting the big boss already. And I don't understand that, which I agree with on that, but. I guess it's nice to see some fresh faces and some fresh stories about how things are going to play out, which I quite like. But I do agree with you on that point right there. So yeah.
yeah. I was on the Simpsons scene where he was asking April if he saw him fight. I feel like that was watchable and actually a half decent scene for his relationship with April, and not actually cringy and wanting me to die. uh,
Oh yeah. You know what? That was actually probably one of the best scenes with Donnie and April by far because one, Donnie wasn't being creepy. And two, Donnie didn't have to use his spreadsheet or nothing. He was just being friendly. And now finally something's actually happening with the relationship, and like you said, it doesn't want to make me die from cringe. So that's a good thing. So we're going in the right direction with this sort of stuff. So it's good to see that their relationship is slowly becoming better ish. Like it's a long
yeah.
shot, but it's getting better.
I'll just say for like with the episodes for like and if they were to focus solely on one turtle, I think that really brings out the negatives within like for that character, as well as like some of the flaws within the show. I mean, especially if you look at like the last two episodes, we enjoyed the episode, but like we didn't like the cringy scenes. But when you get to episodes like this one, the first two, or I think his name is Backstomin, where like they was focused on a team, I feel like it really like shines. And when you do get to like these sort of scenes where like it could have been cringy, but because it's not solely focused on that, they really stay away from that. And I do think that works really well in their favour. Um, but what do you think about the pizza gyoza? Gyoza? If that's how you say it?
Pizza Gyoza, yeah. Those were quite like different because I was thinking like, oh, the Ninja Turtles are gonna go try something new. No, they're gonna have pizza gyoza. I'm like, seriously? Gyoza pizza? Pizza gyozas? I don't. That's not what you usually have in a gyoza, but all right, see what happens. But from the turtles' reaction, it seemed pretty good. And I'm not gonna lie, pizza gyoza, like, sure, you got the traditional gyoza, but you got pizza with inside of them. So you can have like pepperoni, cheese, and all that. But yeah, that was like pizza gyoza. Like, okay, I thought you was gonna try something new, but no, you're still sticking with the pizza theme, and I'm completely 100% with you guys. But come on, it's good to try some food sometimes. But pizza
Hmm.
gyoza seems pretty legit. You know, I wouldn't mind trying pizza gyoza. Never, like, I've tried gyoza before, but never tried pizza gyoza. So let's see. I'm gonna make some. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and yeah. I've always wanted to try them, and but like, never really bothered to look into it. But they do look quite nice and actually something simple to make. But then I looked into the recipe and it's basically like a dumpling, so it may be a bit costly. So I'm not too sure how if we're going to be able to do something like that again. Um, But yeah, after that, the dolls are in the lair training, and then that's when Leo calls the dragon helpless. But I doubt he's that helpless when he was being on like a blind guy. Um,
Yeah,
do you
that
agree
is
with that?
just that's yeah. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, why would you just do that? Why? Whose soul would be wicked enough just to go and beat up a blind guy? I don't think you're pretty.
Mm.
If you beat up a blind guy, then you've got some problems, mate. You got to deal with those problems. You got to go talk to someone about those issues. Like, mate, that's pretty bad. Like, get some help. Like, for reals, get some help.
Yeah, and then after that, there wasn't really too much there. But like, I'll say like, one thing was like Leo and Raph's sort of argument about who was right. Who do you think was right? Like Leo, like letting the person go, or do you think Raph, or do you agree with Raph with like being up the person, like possibly even killing them?
Um, for that, I believe Leo was the correct person in that situation because he was merciful, and of course, as a ninja, you have to know when not to fight and when to fight. So that's a good characteristic that Leo's building up as a ninja, which I thought Leo did the right thing in that situation. Ralph was just being a moany again,
Mm.
which okay, Ralph, I understand you want to kick him, beat him up, because of course I would do the same if he was beating up a blind guy. Like, come on, like
Yeah,
you would jump in and help the old guy out, and you would probably knock his teeth out in the process, because who's sick enough to beat up a blind guy? But
yeah.
yeah, Leo was the correct person in the situation because it helps him out later on in the episode. So I believe Leo was the
Mm.
correct one to do it.
I would actually say that like they're both correct, but I would say that like it really depends on like how far each of the titles would have gone in with their like motives, because like Leo letting the person go, I mean like yeah like I mean like I would agree with him like it was his most honourable thing because it wasn't a much of a challenge, so you don't need to go around killing him, but at the same time you could agree with Raph and go like and like I mean like maybe not kill him, but like at least like arrest him or something like that. So I feel like maybe they're both correct, but I think it really depends on like how far each of those would go. But when we do get April being a
Mm.
undercover cop, um, I have to say this was a bit cringy a little bit. Just because I haven't watched this episode in quite a while, so I was just watching it the other day and like, oh god. But also at the same time I do feel it was maybe a tad little bit pointless as I don't really see anything beyond it like, in terms of like finding out the information about the Pearl Dragons.
Yeah, April. That scene was it was all right. April was trying to do her best, but of course, her age, like, isn't she like 16 or something? And she's trying to be an undercover cop.
Yeah,
Like, even the guy says it as well. It's like it was quite funny. It's like, aren't you 16? It's like, where's your badge and all that? Of course, it's just funny, just trying to get away out of this one. So, but that was an all right scene, I guess. Like, it wasn't a major scene, but it was an all right scene, I guess.
yeah. I'll just say that the turtles jumping into the Pearl Dragons like headquarters. I thought that was a really cool scene, and I do feel like that whole fight scene was just amazing. Of course, there was a few things I would say like the like when the Pearl Dragon was flying around that chain, he probably should have got his like he probably should have got stabbed, and then how the toes. Oh no, the foot cannon came through the wall. I have not got a clue. But I do really enjoy that fight. And I do feel like most of the fights within this episode were really good, and this one was definitely an amazing one.
Yeah, I like hands down that was probably the best fight scene that I'd seen so far, except for episode one. That was pretty cool, episode one. But this in
Mm.
comparison, like they're fighting at the factory, and of course they're fighting Chris Bradford and Serve, and hands down, Chris Bradford. Okay, he beats up Mikey and Donnie. Okay, but he's still a good character overall, but just seeing them all fight together again was really good because I really enjoy when those two characters fight the turtles because it's such a dynamic
Mm.
battle because they're either losing or winning. But with these two, it's a balanced game. So they're winning sometimes, they're fighting sometimes, but just those two characters find the turtles are it's a really cool thing. Oh, and also this was another one of my favourites as well. How Chris Bradford just somehow stops Mikey's nunchucks in midair and just throws him. That is just
Yeah.
that is just epic. Like seriously, like probably wouldn't have happened in real life because it had a blade on it. But oh well, this is the turtle universe. Anything can happen. So, but that was I really do enjoy that fight scene. That was really good.
Mm. Oh yeah, and I must admit one thing was for like I feel like this show goes through has like a problem as well with, like in terms of like balancing out the villains in terms of like how strong they need to be for a certain fight. Just because in episode 4, I mean, I get that Toast couldn't defeat Chris Bradford on the first time because he didn't know him. But then you go into the second one where Mikey was fighting both of them, and he's somehow able to pr- uh, put up like a pretty decent fight. In the third one, the Toll was able to win, but I do guess that may be more down to setting and location and their advantage. But then you go into this one, and then for some reason, Chris Bradford and Xever also just have the power advantage. And I don't know if that's like a writing problem or if it's supposed to be, oh, well, Chris Bradford is more advanced and stuff like that, but it does a case, how did he lose last time? So I do feel like he was a bit inconsistent, and I do guess that's all like one thing because I was reading something the other day about how my Splinter is almost like inconsistent when like fighting characters, where like sometimes he'll be a proper full-on badass and everything to take them down, but then other times he'll get taken down quite easily. But I think that may be more just down to we need epic fights for certain scenes and how to move the story along. We need to have like the first battle they lose and second one they win. So, but that's the case, and I feel like it's maybe a bit poor writing. Uh, but yeah. And then after that,
Mm.
April finds a note on Mr. Murakami's door. The only thing I got to say about this is that Mr. Mark Toes could have been might not know about this for weeks, possibly even years. So Mr. Murakami could have died potentially off screen because they didn't know about the note.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Oh my god, that I didn't think about that. That is oh now you put the image in my head now. Thanks.
Oh yeah, so I think it'd be like a bit more understandable if Chris Bradford has ever has able to send the message directly to the characters. But I think just because it's more of a like coincidence thing that April just somehow going by and saw the message, I feel like I don't know. It feels I won't say it's bad writing, but it's just more like what a coincidence. April was there and stuff like that when you could have been. I I don't hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, but it's good for that found that out.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I understand that. But maybe she
Yeah.
goes there constantly for like a lunch or a dinner or something. Like she's probably a regular, so she probably went there for like her ramen, and then she realised, oh my god, he's not here. What's this on the wall? It's a note. That's probably what they're trying to go with. But I do see your reasoning and logic behind it all. It's like she could have gone, not been there for weeks and all that. Of course, nothing would have happened, and the poor
Mm.
guy would just be still hanging up there. For all we know, he could just be there for weeks on end until the turtles find out. It's like, oh no, where's he gone? And just, oh, poor guy,
Yeah.
poor guy. But luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah. Your any opinions of the trolls talking about their of like going like from going like not Mr. Nice Toe anymore? Like it's something like that. Do you have any opinions on that? Because I didn't really think too much about it really.
The Mr. Nice Turtle is like, is a bit cringe, of course, it's a bit cringe. It's like, oh, it's the typical comic hero phrase. No one missed a nice guy, but no one missed a nice turtle. And okay, is alright. But then, of course, we get into more of as Leo embraces. I feel like Leo embraces Raph's character a bit more. Like Raph wants to break some eggs, and Leo wants to be on like the composed, compassionate side of things. But now the two brothers, I felt like they really connected because Raphael, Leo, they're adopting the same ideology for one episode and they're crossing the line. So that was a nice brotherly bond in time with them, which which is weird because Leo doesn't usually adopt the ideology of all right, let's cross the line. He never does that, but now we see him doing that, which I quite like. So that's really funny, and how they connect and bond over that one scene, which is quite funny.
Okay, well, next one. I want to know about your opinions first before I give my one. But the Mikey not knowing about the plan and just thinking about other things about the TV event, it wasn't the right one for the swing, that wasn't the right thing. What did you think about that scene?
That scene was, I didn't have many ideas, but I just love how he was just going through the same ideas over and over again. Arcade, skateboard, pizza, tofu, I mean, Jirozi, whatever. And he keeps going through all of that, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, guys, you're going to have to explain it to me again. I just blacked out. So, no, I quite enjoyed that. That was quite comedic and funny in that part, in that sense. So,
Hmm.
that was quite funny.
Well, I didn't really enjoy it. I feel like this is probably one of the main reasons why I don't really like this version of Mikey so much, is because they give him so much false humor when it's not really necessary, and it really brings his character down. Like so if you look at last episode when like he was able to fight without thinking, and was able to see that he has so much potential to be one of the best turtles, one of the best fighters. But when you go into a scene like this, and you're really wondering what are they doing with his character, and if they're going for the more funny guy, then like really do embrace it a lot more, but don't really give him like the false humor thing. And then I would say that the joke even like goes on for one scene too many. As it does, I mean, I know that it's only like 30 seconds maybe, but I feel like that's like I don't know. I feel like the joke didn't really land too well, but like they still kept going with it just to try and get you to laugh. And I feel like this is like maybe like a really good example of like why I don't like Mike or this version of Mikey so much is because of like the really false humor on his character that doesn't really work too well most of the times. But yeah. But after that, the Turtles do catch Chris Bradford, and they're just cool. I don't really have anything else to say about that, but catching Chris Bradford and acting all tough and everything, I enjoy that a little bit.
That was quite a funny scene in that one, cause but the problem is I was just trying to figure out how did they find Chris Bradford's address? Like surely Chris
I
Bradford would have
think like
moved after the last episode.
I think like maybe
So I'm
because
just
he
trying to
put
figure out how
um
that works.
well well Daddy would have moved because it was only going after a few people, but the thing is that his last location that was his dojo, and I think maybe this was his house. Maybe because I feel like there are different locations, but I'm not too sure about that. I mean, just like by looking at the things, because in this house there was no upstairs bit by the looks of things, but the other one it had a upstairs bit where Mikey was able to walk upstairs. I'm pretty sure, but or it could be a different location really.
Mm,
But after that, the
could be.
Turtles
Could
do
be on
go
the other
fight.
side of New York to be.
Uh, well, um, um, after that, the Turtles do go fight Chris Bradford and Xever and try to save Momokami. And I really enjoyed the scene. I feel like the animation here was like really good. I feel like every character had their little moment to shine with going against either the Pearl Dragon or Chris Bradford or Xever, and I thought every character in that scene had their one moment to shine, and they used it really well. Um, I don't have anything really bad to say about this whole scene. I enjoyed it so much. But the only thing which I will say is that I feel like maybe there was like potential in terms of like storylines which they could have potentially set up here. Because like I mean like two things which do come to mind is the fact that One of the Pearl Dragons does help Leo save the day, but then they never really expand on the idea of like maybe he wants to turn over and like be good or something like that. And then like, another one would be like Xever trying to kill Chris Bradford, but then like this could have been like an opportunity for Chris Bradford to maybe like have not trust Xever as much or go down like another path in the show, but they never really expand on that whole scene, and I feel like it was like one of those things where like they put it in there so that they could do stuff with it, but then they never do. But other than that, I really enjoyed this fight scene.
That was a good fight scene. Like, I did love how all the factions came together and just fought the Turtles, which I like. This is the first time that we saw the Foot Clan, Shredder's men. Actually, no, this is the second time we've seen them all come together. But this scene was different in some sense, like you were talking about, and like how they all had their opportunities to shine. And I quite enjoyed that because they were fighting Chris Bradford, like Mikey and Donnie were fighting Chris Bradford, Leo and Raphael was fighting Cypher, and of course they got unique fighting skills and all that, which is really awesome to see. Then of course you got the Foot Clan that come in out of nowhere, and they are awesome. Like their character design is just amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know whether they're humans or robots, or they could be cyborgs for all I know, but I have no idea. But we'll hopefully find out what they are.
Oh, they're human.
Okay, they are human. Okay. I was gonna leave that for me to find out, but okay, they're humans. That's good. Jesus, they are very strong humans then, because they're getting bat around like no one's business. So they're really strong, flexible as well.
How was you expecting to find out they were human?
I don't know. They take off their mask, or someone gets cut with a blade, and or their arm falls
this
off,
is a
and
kid
it's
show,
a
by the way.
robot. Oh yeah, of course. We've got to keep it PG. We've got to keep it PG up in here, guys. We've got to keep it PG.
But yeah, do you have anything else to say about the whole scene or not?
No, that scene was pretty legit overall. Quite enjoyed it. There's no problems with that scene whatsoever, unless someone else saw something that we didn't see. So just comment down in the comments below. Just say your opinion about it.
I have to say that the Murakami scene afterwards, I thought that was a quite nice way to wrap things up, and I wouldn't say like it was anything like too dramatic or saying, oh yeah, it really wrapped up this person's story arc or anything. But I just felt like it was like a nice way to like really show off their relationship with each other.
Oh yeah, Murakami. Like Murakami's like my new favorite guy. Like he doesn't care that the turtles are turtles, and the reason that got me shook is like, how did he know that they were turtles? Like they never said that they were turtles. They never did. But then of course he says about his senses. But I'm just trying to figure out, how would he know what a turtle feels like and smells like?
Yeah.
How do we know what a turtle smells like? We
I
can't,
guess.
as the audience, we don't know. Just experiences with being around and touching okay, I'm not going to finish that sentence off, but you could understand where I'm coming from, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, well, the next scene with the turtles, I found it to be like a good wrap up for Leo's and Raph's story, as well as April's little scene. Again, not cringy and actually enjoyable.
Yes, that was
Finally.
that was a good one. Finally, Donnie's actually racking up some points for once. He's actually not in the minus anymore. He's just think he's just got up to 10 points so far. Like, he's a good 10 so far, but he's still got a long ways to go though. Still got a long ways to go. But Donnie, he's actually doing it. He's actually talking like a normal person to April, and I'm just like, oh my god, my boy's doing it. Donnie is doing it. He's talking, and April's communicating him back without the cringe. It's. I don't know. This is a
Nice.
complete different Donnie. I think Donnie is going up in the world, but he's still got a long way to go, though. He's still got a very long ways to go. But should be good to see how he develops and grows as a character with April and himself in the relationship. So it should be good.
Yeah. I have to say, the end scene with Shredder saying, or he's like really pleased with Chris Bradford and Xever, and he's going to do things on his own. I thought that was such an amazing scene that really has so much impact on like the whole show itself, as well as like emphasis on how like really scary this character is. And oh boy, I cannot wait for his fight with the turtles.
Definitely, 100%. Can't wait.
But yeah, what do you think about this episode overall?
This episode was hands down one of my favourites. It's probably not the best one, but it's one of my top favourites for the episodes that I've seen so far. It's really good, really put together. Sometimes, okay, story needs a little work here and there, but the fight scenes are good. Fight scenes are good. There was good character development and as well. And of course, in this episode, there was a story behind it. Sure, the name was very confusing, like Never Say X Ever, but there was a story behind it as well, to be merciful. And of course, I quite enjoyed that because in the episode, Leo's being merciful to the Purple Dragon gang member. And of course, at the end, the Purple Dragon gang member, God, try saying that 100 times, but he was merciful to Leo by throwing him the sword at the end, and that's now I see that's good character development. That's good character skills, and of course he's being merciful. So I'm thinking that he could be in future episodes, and he could turn to the good side, the turtle side, in my opinion. So that could be really good to see, which I quite enjoyed. But this episode overall was hands down my favourite so far that I've seen, because it's got Chris Bradford in it. Like, come on, Chris Bradford. Then of course you got the Shredder, major development within the plot. And my other thing was there was no Krang. That was good, no Krang, and that was just peace of mind. It's like, thank God, no Krang today. That's good. My mind can rest at ease. But overall, I rate this episode 10 out of 10. Really good. Definitely really good episode. Really good overall. Just, I can't really say much more because I've run out of words to describe how good this episode was. So, yeah.
I'll just say that I did
Really
really
good.
enjoy this episode. I will say like there was like maybe one or two scenes where like a bit iffy and maybe not like it as much as like I won't say it's like 10 out of 10 episode, but there was a lot of good moments within this episode, and especially the fight scenes I feel like were top notch within this episode. I do feel like maybe I'm pretty sure like all the fight scenes with like the Foot Clan, they are like some of the best ones. So I'm glad that like it starts like from early on in the show that there was some of the best fights with the Foot. But I do really enjoy this one, and like the story development which I do give the Shredder and the Foot Clan, and the way that they are moving the story forward, I felt like was really good, and I actually felt a bit natural, other than just going, oh well, this episode you're gonna fight the Krang, and then like next episode you're gonna be fighting these guys, and that's when it leads on to this big thing. I thought it did feel a bit natural. Do you want to hear some trivia for this episode?
Yes, let's hear the trivia, because I think I've actually saw some trivia in this episode, but I'm gonna let you say the trivia first before I get into it, because I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but let's see the trivia first. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, so when Mikey says he wants to get a tattoo of himself, so he can wear it on his mask, the face from the 1987 tmnt shows appears on his face. I think like you have seen those toys before. Do you remember the movie with the with the Turtles meeting other turtles.
Yes. Oh my
It was
god, yes, I knew
yeah,
it. I knew it.
yeah,
Yep, that's the one
um,
thing I. Yep, I got it. Okay, I'm writing that one. That's good. That's good.
yay! Finally. Okay, so the episode title is a pun on the phrase "never say never." The sign above the door of Murakami's restaurant contains Japanese kajang, which translates to Murakami's name. Well, that's actually quite cool. Amongst the
Hmm.
weapons that appear in the episode is the jiti, a Japanese martial arts turrican, as seen embodied in the punching bag Leo's seen using after sparring Thong. Dunter mentions his passing that he suspects he and his brothers were mutated from either diamondback terrapins or cornbox toads, which are two of the most common pet toad species in North America. And Splinter mentions about a 16th dimension domyo. Oh, no, he mentions a domyo from the 16th century. So yeah, there wasn't really too
Hmm.
much. I feel like the only big major thing about that trivia was the Murakami name thing and the Mars thing. But
The
yeah.
tattoo.
Okay, do you want to hear? Okay, do you want to hear
Yeah.
some the cast?
Yes. Go on then.
Okay, so we have Shredder voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. We have Splinter done by Hoon Lee. The foot soldiers in there, but I don't have any name, known voice to them. Yeah, Shopkeeper done by Andrew Kishkino. April Neil by Mae Whitman. Chris Bradford done by Clancy Brown. Donatello by Rob Paulson. Leonardo done by Jason Biggs. Michelangelo by Greg Sipes. Fong by Andrew Kishkon. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. He also did Sid. Evan Toshio is done by Jamie C. Mr. Murakami is done by Sab Shinomi. Okay, so Mr. Murakami, the person who voiced him, so he was, okay, he's 84 years old. What else? He's played the role of Lord Neodrami in the TMNT 3 movie. As well as his other notable roles is Koga in Three Ninja Kickback, Uncle in Jackie Chan Adventures, My Sparkle in The Simpsons, Yoshio Nashirimi in Old Dogs. Um, the only thing I've seen in other than this episode was Toes 3. And then the Andrew Kishkon guy, so he doesn't say his age. So he did the voice of Fong and Sid in this TV show. But the only thing I got on here on the Torpedo page is the fact that he voiced Shredder in the Batman vs. the TMNT movie. And I must say, going from a little side role, minor role in this episode and like a few other episodes, I mean, going from a role like that to also just going and playing Shredder, how do you even go from something like that to that within, I think it was only like 8, 9 years? That is incredible, really, for something like that.
That is impressive. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this episode. Do you have any like final comments on it or what?
To be honest, this episode was probably one of the best episodes that I didn't had to pick apart this time. Like, it was overall a decent episode, and of course, the characters were fine, the voices were fine. There wasn't really much hate. There wasn't much issues with this episode, and of course, it was quite a fun one. It was a nice, refreshing one as well because we saw some new characters as well, some favourable and some not. And overall, I just enjoyed the
Mm.
action. The action scenes were put together quite well, and overall, the scenes were pretty alright. Everything was just choreographed perfectly, in my opinion, and it was a decent episode.
Yeah. Well, next week's episode is called The Gauntlet. Do you have any idea on what could potentially happen in that episode?
Ooh, my first initial thought was, oh my god, Infinity Gauntlet. But then I realised that's not going to happen because this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is not Marvel. But I think the title name for the gauntlet is a maze or a labyrinth of some sort, and it's a gauntlet. So you have to try and get through the gauntlet as quickly as possible. It's an obstacle course, but with a lot of obstacles in it. Jesus, that was a really good description, Hayden, of an obstacle course. Jeez, but this one I believe is going to be like a maze or something, or obstacles within the way to reach the goal, or something like that. That's what I think of this episode one. Next episode's one, sorry. So
pretty decent theory.
That's what I think. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that it is one of the best episodes in the entire show. So look forward to it. I guess.
Okay. Okay, so so you're saying this next episode is gonna beat this episode.
No, okay, okay, yeah. So I'd say like next episode is much better. It's one of the best episodes in this first season. But I'd say from this episode to about, I want to say about episode 13, 14, they're all bangers. But specifically next episode is one that like you can be watching, and then I think like I'll say about halfway through point you can be like, oh my god, this is wow, and there's certain things that I can already guarantee you that like two specific scenes you will be really happy and surprised, and yeah, is that good? I hope. Okay. If not, then I've been saying it too much.
So I've got a lot coming for me then.
Oh yeah, You know. I'll say that if you was to ask like people about next episode, I think I'm pretty sure they would definitely say that is one of the best episodes. But then again, that may just be me. So I guess we'll have to wait and see for next week on your reaction.
Alright. You're gonna keep me in the dark about this one. Alright, that's good.
That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. This has been another episode of Talking Tells. And yeah, if you don't want to leave your opinions, reviews, or any questions about the podcast, ask or anything like that, you can leave them at the Anchor thing. There's a link in the description, or you can leave a comment on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been your host Teddy, and I've been joined by...
I've been Hayden.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.